Hey, thanks for joining me. In this video, we're going to start prepping this new Holland for the field. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've already fixed and some other things that need to be fixed. The first thing I did with this tractor, being that it was used, is I spent about 3 hours pressure washing this thing. And honestly, I could probably spend another 3 hours pressure washing this thing to really get it as clean as I would like it to be. But that's going to happen toward the end of this year. At this point, we still have 150 acres of hay we need to get on the ground. So my goal right now is to just get this thing ready to go to the field so we can go to work, finish this season, and then at the end of this season, I'm going to address some of the smaller issues. One thing I pointed out in my last video is the PTO speed was not registering on the dash, and that's because the PTO was not working. Once I pressure washed a good 2 inches of crud out of this hole, there's a sensor for the PTO. If you can see my finger, it's that big nut looking thing on the side of that manifold. And there are 2 wires that slide onto that sensor. And lucky me, one of those wires just came undone. So I cleaned all that up, washed it out, hit it with some contact cleaner, plugged it back in, and the PTO is kicking. Another thing, you see I've got the loader off. One thing I noticed is the hydraulic fluid on this machine is garbage. Now the reason I know that is because when I pulled the loader off, I lost a little fluid, which is normal, but the fluid I lost was kind of white, milky looking, which is a sign of water in the oil, which is a big problem. The clutch on this tractor runs in the hydraulic oil, the brakes run in the hydraulic oil, everything runs in the hydraulic oil. And you don't want water in there because it'll cause the clutch linings and the brake linings to start delaminating and coming apart. And then of course water is just not good for hydraulic cylinders or pumps or valves or anything. So I've got all our parts here. I picked everything up at the New Holland dealer. How many of you guys service your own tractors, and what does it cost you to do it? Comment down below. I'd really like to know, because as the equipment gets bigger, the costs get bigger. Right there, just those buckets of oil and the filters and everything is over $800 worth of maintenance parts. One air filter by itself, this tractor has 2. It has an inner and an outer, but the outer air filter all alone is over $100. But it's quite literally the cost of doing business. So you pay it and you take care of your equipment, and in return your equipment is going to take care of you. This inner filter is foul. The outer filters, I don't mind blowing those out and reusing them when they're still good, but by the time your inner filter starts looking like that, it's time to just replace both of them. And anytime you buy a new tractor, especially used, you want to do a full service on that thing so you know what was done and you know it was done properly. A lot of guys are probably going to say I could save money by using aftermarket parts, and that is true, but on tractors this complex, basically with the computer controls for the transmission and the hydraulic fluid operating the clutch and everything else, I just feel better using factory parts. Yes, it costs a little more, but to me the peace of mind is worth it. So there's our air filter. Here's our fuel filter, and this fuel filter here actually is the cause of my code on the dash. I have a code, it's number 14101, for a fuel filter water sensor disconnected. So I bought my new fuel filter and I picked up a new water sensor just in case that's the problem. Normally I don't like just throwing parts at things, but considering the condition of the rest of this tractor, it can't hurt to replace this. On these, your drain plug just comes out, you thread the sensor right in, nothing to it. A lot of people like to fill these fuel filters before they install them, which is not a bad idea, but I'm not going to do that on this one. I'm going to prime it with the hand pump just because I don't have any diesel right here with me, and I don't feel like going and getting a can. I know that's lazy, but yeah, it is what it is. I don't know if you can read them, but all these filters on this tractor are dated 2015. So I know this thing hasn't been touched at least since then. And if I had to take a guess, I would say the farm that owned this particular unit probably serviced it in 2015, ran it the 2015 season, maybe the 2016 season, and decided to get rid of it. And then once they decided to get rid of it, there was, you know, they did not see the value in continuing to service it. Kind of wish they had, but whatever. You get what you get. Get a little bit of that diesel. You can see that diesel was red. That is off-road diesel. It is the exact same as the green stuff you get at the fuel pumps, but off-road diesel is dyed red so that you know you don't pay the road tax on it. So you will get your off-road diesel that is red from a different pump, and if they catch you running red diesel in a street vehicle, there is a huge fine for that. Change the hydraulic filters, and I told you that oil looked white and milky. Watch it when I unscrew this filter and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. That is a problem. So that's why I'm changing all this stuff now. We're gonna run it the rest of the season, probably put 100-200 hours on it, and then before winter, I'm probably going to change this hydraulic fluid again, just to kind of flush it out. I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Everything is done except for engine oil and engine coolant. The engine oil is an odd-sized Allen wrench socket, so I'm gonna have to pick one of those up, but otherwise it's in good shape. Runs fine. Still a little bit of a miss at high RPM, but I think that's maybe just a sticky injector. Might be air getting in the fuel system, but I don't think so. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe, because the next thing I'm going to do is pour some injector cleaner in the fuel tank and take this thing to the field and put it to work. Thanks for watching.